when our fields get distorted and we get residue in the field, gunk, right? We take on gunk, how to clear out the gunk. This became obvious to me when I got addicted to a medical show recently. I think I've told a lot of you, I don't watch much TV, but every once in a while I want to take a break from work or reading spiritual books, and I'll find one TV program that I like and I just watch that to the exclusion of all others. And I found this show called The Pit. It's about emergency room doctors. And I loved it because especially friends like Karen Crawford, who's an emergency room doctor or was, said it was so realistic or heard it was realistic. And it was. Well, I found that after I would watch that show, I'd be knocked off balance for a while. And in fact, on my flight to the Omega Institute, I binge watched it like 3 or 4 in a row. So I have 3 or 4 hours of all this trauma in the emergency room and all this gore and people dying and the emotions of that. They've lodged in my field. And honestly, my friends, I don't know how most people watch TV and stay clear in their field. I am so grateful I don't watch TV, because unless you're really good at letting all that energy flow through you, I'm going to show you why it sticks. But I got to Albany, New York after that flight from across the country, and I was just distorted in my field. I was off balance and I was very happy to be there. And I thought, man, I'm going to the Omega Institute. I need to be on top of my game. And I had to work hard to clear it out. And I asked my guides, what is this? How do I clear this? Same thing happens when we wake up from not so happy dreams, right? Do you find yourself having a nightmare or a disturbing dream and you just can't shake it for hours? This is when I wake up that way, I start my day off with my 10-minute chakra clearing exercise. It's on my website, the 10-minute transformations under gifts, because you take on that energy and it turns out there's an actual physical body reason for all of this. All right. When you sleep and have a dream, or when you get drawn into a TV show, you're in alpha brainwave state or deeper in sleep when you're dreaming. And that is a much less active state than right now when you're listening or I'm talking. You're in beta brainwave state. When you're watching TV, when you're vegging, or when you're dreaming, your left hemisphere's activities, your conscious mind is not so active. So it's kind of offline. And what's active is the right hemisphere of your brain, which is much more about feelings. So you're taking on all these emotions and these feelings, but the left brain isn't processing it. So it just kind of gets stuck in you. You're really focused on how that TV show felt or how that dream felt, and that triggers stuff in you, but you're not putting words to it. You're not matching it with the story. It's just here in awareness. Make sense? So that's why nightmares feel real. That's why we identify with the people in our favorite TV shows. We love them. The show is over and it's like, oh my God, I'm grieving because I'm not going to see that person anymore, you know, because you've interacted with them from this flow state where the brain doesn't say, that's not a real person, that's an actor. That's right brain stuff. Make sense? So a scene in a show or a nightmare sticks, even if it's fiction. Wow. So that you can call that gunk in your field. You can call it residue. It's leftover emotional or symbolic content that stays after the experience. So it doesn't just let go. You can't just say, hey, that was a movie and walk away from it. It stays in your field. I hope this is bringing a lot of you some big ahas and you're saying, okay, so what do I do about that? So I'm going to give you a tool in just a minute, and it goes right back to breathing. Breathing slowly helps you bring your attention back into the body. So you're more present in this moment. And this is what we want to do. We want to become present and get balanced again with the left brain coming online and the right brain working with it. So really what will help you is touching any objective object. And it will really help if it's something in nature, because this brings you to the brain having to say, I'm reaching out now, that's my laptop, touching my laptop, and you're labeling it. Now the left brain is working, right? Or that's my leg. Now I'm aware of my body and touching it, or go out and hug a tree. That's why tree huggers are called tree huggers, because they know that touching something in nature is going to help you be present and get grounded. Rinsing your face or getting a shower just releases some of that tension that's built up in your body, but you can't just let it go. And then just naming the emotions. This is a little bit of sadness from watching a movie. It's not mine. Now we're getting back to letting it flow through you again. So the subconscious holds on to stories, but you are a soul. You're the one who watches all of this. So all of these insights came about. I just saw somebody say, how about petting your dog or cat? Fantastic. Talk to the cat. You're using words. Talk to the dog. You're petting them. You're getting oxytocin flowing through you, which is the pleasure chemical hormone. So yeah, outstanding technique there. So this teaching all just came from me being aware of distortion in the field when I watched a TV show. What TV show? So you're swimming in all this energy and you wonder why our world isn't peaceful. What keeps people coming back to the TV? Drama. We pay money to watch horror films, shoot 'em up, bang 'em up films. I haven't been to a movie theater in so long because I can't find anything that's not going to distort my field. And I choose not to sit in that. Even the half an hour of previews will distort my field, because I didn't choose to see those previews, you see? So the awakened way of living is about making conscious choices to remain distortion free. Doesn't mean you don't have fun, right? That's why I like Gaia TV. They have great documentaries. They have positive, uplifting things that we can watch. And so I'm still going to watch medical shows. If I watched the whole series, it's done. I'll find another one. I love that stuff. But I do it consciously. Yeah, in the book, The Awakened Way, I talk about going to see the movie American Sniper, knowing that everybody that came out of the theater looks depressed. I said, I wonder if I can go in as the soul, maintain soul awareness, not get drawn up in the emotion, and observe. And I did it. I left there with no gunk in my field. I didn't get caught up in the drama. And to me, it was so interesting because I didn't take sides with the people on the screen. I saw them with compassion. It changes everything. So I hope I don't sound like I'm preaching here. I'm trying to help you all find peace, because we all get caught up in that. I did. We all have bad dreams, and we will find peace much more easily if we recognize it and know how to clear it now, and know why it gets stuck in us. Now you know, and now you won't have to lash out at somebody from this emotional charge that's stuck in you. Hooray.